Gyotaku is a traditional printing technique used by fishermen to get an accurate record of their catch. Not only was this technique used to document one's catch or to prove they caught a trophy fish, it also was viewed as an art form. There have also been instances where Gyotaku impressions are classified as nature prints due to the fact that the image is made from either natural or preserved specimens, or from lifelike silicone rubber replicas, which have been cast from genuine specimens. Gyotaku made its first appearance in the USA in an art exhibition curated by Gyotaku no Kai, an association made up of Japanese Gyotaku artists. The exhibition, titled Gyotaku: The Impression of a Fish, was held in the American Museum of Natural History in New York City in 1956. The art form became more well-known after World War II because the method was published in a few major publications, one being the number 48 summer of 1954 issue of Scope magazine. Later, the technique was published in a large format book titled Gyotaku: An Art of Fish Print and was published in 1972. There are three types of Gyotaku printing: direct, indirect, and transfer. Direct Gyotaku starts with the cleaning of the fish and creating a support system for under its tail and fin so that the whole body is level. After the fish is prepped, black or multicolored water-based inks are dabbed or brushed onto the surface of the fish. It is important to make sure there are no visual brush or dab marks in the ink. It is also important to use the right kind of paper. Japanese papers, or kinds with long fibers and considerable strength, are best for fish printing. Once the fish is inked, the paper is draped on top of the fish, covering it entirely. Next, pressure is applied to the paper by fingertips. The printer rubs over and over again to ensure an even print. The print will show a mirror image of the fish. Every detail on the fish is printed with the exception of the eye, which is then painted in later. Indirect printing starts with the same cleaning and prep of the fish. The next step is to dampen the paper and place it onto the fish. It is important to be attentive to avoiding air bubbles, folds, or wrinkles that may form on the paper. Similar to the direct printing method, the printer rubs the paper onto the fish but without the ink. The idea is to make almost like a paper cast over the fish. Once the paper is completely dry, ink is applied to a dabber or a tempo, a type of stamp, onto the paper. Whatever markings on the specimen will start to appear gradually in layers of ink that are added. This print comes out as a right reading image with a softer appearance. Transfer Gyotaku has the same preparation of the fish, but this time the fish is thoroughly dry. After its surface is dry, an oil-based paint or ink is applied to its surface slightly thicker than how it would be applied for a direct print. Next, a sheet of polythene, something similar to a plastic wrap, is placed on top of the fish and printed. The polythene is then placed on top of another surface, such as leather, wood, metal, or glass. The print is then transferred by rubbing the ink onto the second surface. Each print usually includes additional stamps indicating the date of the catch, the location, fisherman's name, a witness's name, the fish species, and the type of fishing tackle used. After the print is made, the ink can be washed off of the fish and the fish can be eaten. Although it's still practiced today, fish printing is not as common as it should be. There is a valuable benefit that comes with the beautiful traditional art, and that is scientific data. Historical biodiversity data attached to Gyotaku prints are at risk of being lost, and there are quite a few factors for the art form to fade out. Storage of Gyotaku has improved from the 19th century, but for a while it was difficult for the prints to retain their integrity. Storage of Gyotaku in the public areas of shops and stores is usually less than ideal, with exposure to tobacco smoke, sunlight, and moisture. Because it is unlikely that shops and studios allow smoking in 2021, the fact that we are more aware of the care of artwork needed in the 21st century, newer prints are more likely to outlive the earliest known prints. Another factor is the increase in technology. Because we now have so many devices that can record and photograph digitally, there's way less of a need for a catch to be printed. Without a demand for the prints, fewer people are pursuing it as a profession, and the late owners are retiring. Losing Gayataku would mean losing valuable biodiversity documentation. Documenting the species that we have in 2021 may not seem important now, but in 2080, we may be very thankful for an accurate record of the species that existed, even more so the prints from the 1950s. In my own opinion, some of the reasons why I think the tradition is fading out is because younger generations don't have much of an interest in fishing culture, and also for the most part it is viewed negatively, which is unfortunate because I think the culture is a very beautiful thing. The reason why I chose to do this essay assignment was because I am focusing on traditional aspects of fishing through my own personal artwork, and so the fact that I found something that incorporated fishing and art was very cool. And I guess my biggest takeaway from this is that the love and labor from fishermen has impacted the art world in a positive way, and it should be continued. And I hope that it does.